What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
What's up, gentlemen?
What's up?
Welcome back, Marvin.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Folks at home, Happy New Year. Welcome to the first episode of 2025. How was everybody's New Year? Did you guys do anything fun, cool?
Yeah, hosted a party. It was cool.
This is your first get-together at your new house, huh?
Yeah, first big one for sure, yeah.
How was it?
Soiree.
Yeah, it was fun. We had food, drinks, music, all the good stuff. Yeah.
You had family over?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's fun. What kind
family,
of music?
friends. Mostly rap, some older stuff.
Fucking
some
Tupac?
80s stuff. Nah. No, I'm saying it was mostly like rap, like modern rap, and then some old stuff.
Oh, that modern shit. It was a youngin' party then, huh?
Yep.
Ah, okay. Did Vince go?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yep. Vince was there.
I got
Cousin Mark was there too.
Nice. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Dusty, did you do anything?
Did not do anything for New Year's. We just hung out here because we had the kids, but did go to Tahoe this weekend. And
Tahoe, like Lake Tahoe?
South Lake. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like 70 miles over the hill. It's not very far, but we
nice.
drove in over the snow. Almost didn't make it because it got pretty bad up there. But
Really?
Yeah.
What goes on there? What do you do there? Just like hang out, hike, or?
Yeah, we just went to chill, hang out, ate some food. Went to eat at one of the Hell's Kitchen restaurants there.
Is it like
Did you get the beef Wellington?
No, did not get the beef Wellington.
Is it like it's like I thought Lake Tahoe is kind of like a vacation spot, like for camping and shit.
Yeah, it's a touristy spot. It's a ski spot. I mean, right now, yeah, everybody there is skiing. There's a bunch of people running around, skis and dogs and pets and whatnot.
So there's like a town around it that you go and like hang out in and go to restaurants and shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a pretty small town, but I mean,
Gotcha.
because Tahoe's not huge, but yeah, it's a nice lake up in the middle of, I don't know.
Is it like a day
You get out
trip?
some. I mean, it's 70 miles. It's over the hill, over the summit. But we went for the weekend. We were down there. It snowed the day we went, and so we were there a couple nights.
You're saying over the hill. I have no frame of reference for that, but I'm thinking like GTA 5, where it's like you go into like the desert territory.
Yeah,
of the
windy
map.
roads. Like you go up 3,000-4,000 feet. You go over the summit, and you come down a 1,000 foot or two, and you're in the Tahoe Basin in the El Dorado National Forest.
Gotcha.
It's beautiful country.
How long is the drive?
It depends on traffic, when
Sure.
high tourist or there's something going on, it could take you 4 hours to go 70 miles, and sometimes it could take you an hour and a half.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I didn't do anything on New Year's Eve, but I did have family over New Year's Day, so that was fun.
Nice.
I saw a funny thing I wanted to bring up to you guys. This is Marvin's gonna love this shit. Yeah. So, I'm not sharing my screen for you guys. Hang on a second. So you know how like am I sharing my screen?
You were sharing the OBS screen.
Yeah, it was, wasn't I? There we go. Yeah, Marvin, we all three of us, we have certain ways we get our movies and television. Well, this person was really going through it. This person I found this post on Twitter. This person posted on Letterboxd about this Indian film, All We Imagine as Light. And this person said, desperately wanted to watch this for months. Only theater playing this is 4 hours from me. Found out this had released on Disney Plus yesterday, ... but only in India. Got a VPN and attempted to sign up for Disney Plus. Turns out it requires an Indian phone number for sign up. Found a website that sells virtual Indian phone numbers. Bought a virtual phone number. Disney Plus doesn't accept virtual phone numbers.
A lot of places don't accept virtual numbers.
Went to Fiverr and hired someone in India to help me. This person literally walked over to a convenience store and bought me a SIM. Signed up on Disney Plus and watched the movie. 100% worth it. Would do it again.
Big.
And he gave the movie 4.5 stars.
That's crazy. Could have just watched it.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
Nope, not me neither. Bro, I've read this. I couldn't wait to read this to you guys because
that's a good one.
Well, but
that's nuts.
That's the struggle, though. I mean, even like Netflix, watching something that's in Canada or in Europe, it's not in America.
Show butthole. Yeah, no, I don't know how people, like regular people, do it, honestly. And I had a similar, not this experience, but I've been dealing with this a little bit the last couple of days too, because so here in New York, we have our cable provider, one of the main ones here is Optimum. And for the longest time, Optimum was owned by James Dolan, who also owns the Knicks and the Rangers, and MSG Networks, which hosts the Knicks and Rangers games and all that good stuff. He owns Madison Square Garden. He owns the Sphere, yep. But I guess Optimum sold to a company called Altice, and Altice is now like the parent company. But just recently, within the last couple of days, there's been a contract dispute between MSG Networks and Optimum. So Optimum no longer carries MSG. So this prompted me to call on behalf of my mother and stepfather to see if we could get like a credit or something.
Yeah.
And I came to find out that they pay like $300 a month between their phone, TV, and internet. So that's this.
Insane.
I was on the phone with them today pretending to be my stepdad to try to see if I can get a savings, right? Yeah. The way they do the packaging is so predatory and insane that if you like, literally there's a spreadsheet and they have like 6 different packages that they call packages, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have everything is color coordinated. Each package is color coded. And they give you this literal like Google Doc of like thousands of channels with little colored dots next to them to tell you what corresponding package goes with that channel. So if you're just a consumer and you want, let me see if I can go on my history and show you this because it's actually insane. If you were like if you're just a normal person and not like somebody our age who like has like some knowledge of this shit,
mm-hmm.
I just don't understand how anybody could feasibly like parse this information out. It's insane.
Yeah.
Not meant to.
Look at this.
Wow.
That's
I'll share it.
Pretty intense.
Like, yeah, this is for my location. I don't know if it's coming through on the stream that great to you guys, but like, here's all the packages. Basic TV is light blue. Extra TV is dark blue. Core TV is orange. Value TV is whatever color this, teal. Select TV, everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you got to go through and be like, what channels do I want? Oh, I want HGTV, so I got to be on purple, orange, green. It's like, this is insane.
Yeah, I mean, they just want you to get the highest package.
Pretty much, yeah. But get this, there's more. But wait, so we're on the second to highest package, right? Or they are. I don't watch TV. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I said to the person on the phone, I was like, well, I'm looking over this, trying to make some sense of it. I'm like, well, I don't need Stars or any of these movie channels. I would like to lower it down to whatever package I selected. She's like, oh, great. That's going to be, you're going to save $20 a month. Okay, cool. But get this, nice. Here's the kicker. On the package that they currently have, they're getting a $20 credit because they're on a higher package. So by lowering it, they are effectively going to be reduced $20, but they're going to lose the $20 credit. So in effect, they are going to break even in price and lose channels. So they're all, it's just like, so I basically said to the person on the phone, I'm like, so what you're telling me is I cannot save money with you guys. It's just impossible. And she was like, well, then comes the internet package. We're on the lowest possible internet package, which is 400 megabits per second download speed and like 35 megabits per second upload speed, which is $120 a month. It's the lowest.
Jesus.
I said, how is that possible? I personally pay $85 a month for gigabit internet with Verizon. I don't understand how these companies get away with it. And I don't understand how people afford it. Like, it's completely predatory. And I'm sure they're all like more or less the same.
Yeah.
Because
most likely.
I tried like I tried to price out with like Verizon. It's about the same.
Well, running new lines is prime real estate. Google tried to do it for a little while. They were spending billions and billions of dollars to roll out fiber optic internet everywhere, and they were like, you know what? It's not really worth it. So we're gonna try and build Wi-Fi cities now, and we got Elon satellite internet.
It's
crazy.
I don't know. It's crazy.
It is.
But like your options are limited if you watch if you watch live TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even for people like us, like live TV is more difficult to get. You know what I mean? So
It is. Yeah.
when I say people like us, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Our matey.
Thieves.
So like it's I don't know. It was just it was really fucking crazy. I mean, it's like just not possible to save money. I did figure out that YouTube TV is actually quite affordable.
Expensive?
And no, it's pretty affordable comparatively.
It's like $90 a month, isn't it?
Well, they raised their prices. It's like $80 a month.
$82.99.
Yeah, but it's like it's like $60 for the first 3 months or something like that. The only caveat is you don't get local sports, and you have to get internet elsewhere. So you end up paying like probably like around $150, but that's still a far cry from like $300 fucking dollars that they're paying now. It's kind of crazy. It's just wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google Fi is like $10 a gig up to like, I don't know, it's like 10 gigs, and then that your bill's capped.
Yeah. I'm curious if I'm curious if we're going to see more TV things similar to what we do, Marvin, with the are you still on the Verizon thing? What was it? Visible? You still using that?
Yeah, I'm on Visible. They actually had a promo going for the Visible Plus plan
I saw
or whatever.
that. I got an email about it.
And I signed up for that. So,
what do you get with Visible Plus?
the
watch,
5G.
right?
Well, you get 5G, the ultra wide bands or whatever.
So it's better 5G basically?
Yeah, just better speeds and all that.
And how much?
$10.
$10 extra. So it's $35 a month.
Yeah.
And that
I think it's just for 2 years, and then we'll see. But yeah.
Do you notice like a speed difference? Probably not.
When I'm actually out and about, and it's really hard to say. Like, you don't really look for high bandwidth stuff that often when you're out, I think so.
Well, because I was gonna say the basic package has 5G already. It's just better 5G.
Yeah. I just don't want to. So the way it works is you could be throttled on the lower service. And I just don't want to be throttled whenever I would just need my internet to be working. So I just was like, fuck it, I'll just upgrade.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was gonna say, so Visible, for those of you who don't know, is like it's like an offshoot of Verizon. It's $25 a month, and you just get unlimited everything, and
Great
5G.
Service.
And it's a great service. It's literally been flawless since I've had it.
First night I moved into the house, Dan, I didn't have internet, but my service was so good at the house. I was playing games on my.
We're using like a hotspot. Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
So like the thing is, the hotspot speeds aren't great, but I had 5 bars of 5G, so my ping was like 30 when I was playing games, which is amazing for a hotspot. So.
Yeah, especially for a temporary situation that you don't like. You know, obviously that's not ideal for like full-time gaming, but
I couldn't really watch anything, but gaming wise, I was golden. Yeah,
that's interesting. I wonder. So basically, what I was getting is, I wonder if we're going to see, because there's all the what are these called? These phone services? There's like a name for them.
I forgot. Yeah, there's a name. There's a term for it, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see similar services, but for like television, start to crop up. Because like.
Well, that's what these were supposed to be, like these YouTube TVs and
they were
Fubo, Phoebe, whatever, all these other fucking. I don't. They're all ramping up now, so it's like the full circle is happening. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I couldn't think of anything on live TV that I would want to watch. Like my mother watches fucking HGTV, and like I don't even know what else, but like
no,
I don't know. I could not. Yeah. Do you have live TV at your place now, Dusty, or no?
Sports. Yeah, we have YouTube TV.
Oh, you do have YouTube TV.
Yeah.
And you like it?
Yeah. I mean,
Nick has it for the football package.
It's a service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sports, that's what we have it for too.
So you get all the YouTube or all the football games with YouTube TV?
Yeah, YouTube has a contract with the NFL, so they have like a full NFL package.
Yeah, you can get the NFL package on YouTube TV. I think it's exclusive to YouTube TV.
It used to be with DirecTV, so Nick switched because
Yeah.
he likes the Raiders and they're out of market. So that's like the only feasible way for him to watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
she
the
had it
Raiders,
before
man. You should
that.
move to Vegas.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's crazy. These TV companies, man, they're just raking people over the coals. Like, I don't understand. How are people affording it? Because, like, I mean, the shit that we do is easy to us because we're just used to it, and we talk about it every day too. Like most of the time, if something new pops up, well, you know what I mean. So it's like, but I don't know how regular people really afford the shit. Because, like, think about it. Like, if you're over like 50, you probably have a house phone. So you're paying for that. That's like $20 a month. You got to have internet. Okay. It's like $100 a month. Then you have cable package. That's another $100 a month. So you're at like $300 a month. Then on top of that, you're paying for Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and fucking Disney Plus, all these other services that, like, what are people paying? Like $1,000 a month for fucking access to all this
entertainment? Yeah.
It's actually
entertainment is important,
especially when they're cutting down because sharing passwords and stuff, like sharing HBO Max passwords, they're cutting down on Disney passwords, Netflix passwords. So,
and you make a good point, Marvin. Like, entertainment's important to people, but they're
gonna make a way. They're gonna make a way to pay for that shit.
I don't actually think people really are aware of what they're paying, to be honest, because that's the only way I can think of. It's like, I think a lot of people, and I know I'm guilty of this. Like a lot of I just pay bills. Like I don't even know what I'm paying for half the time. Like now I do, but when I had more services that I was paying for, a bill comes in, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. But like, if you stop to think about it, it's obscene.
Yeah, those subscriptions. I mean, everything is subscription based.
Yeah,
you got freaking like outfit subscriptions, candle subscriptions. There's really a subscription for like anything nowadays. There is, So I mean, it's a lucrative fucking business model for sure.
It is.
Why pay one time for something or whatever when you could get them to subscribe for life
constantly? Yeah. But I don't know. That's my rant about television and movies. But But anyway, hope everybody else had a happy New Year. We're talking about a real pain later in the show. Stick around for that. It's a Golden Globe winner because it is award season once again. So yeah, that's the Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin
last
movie.
Night, right?
Yeah. Kieran Culkin won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor, I believe, for this movie. So stick around for that. And we got some other good stuff going on. So you guys been watching anything this past week or two? Anything new?
Yeah, The Bear. I've been watching that a lot of The Bear.
Oh, nice.
Really good show.
I've heard it kind of fell off in the last season. Or the previous
I can
season,
see that. I'm in the middle of the second season, and you're probably gonna watch it. I don't want to really spoil it.
I'm gonna watch it eventually. Yeah.
It just switches gears a bit, quite a bit, and
I have heard that,
but I think it's still gonna be good. I don't know.
Okay.
If people are saying it falls off, maybe, but I'll have to see.
I'm using falls off loosely. I had just heard less favorable things about this previous season when it was running than I had heard about the seasons prior while they were going on. Like people like ranted and raved about the first two seasons, and then this third one, I think it is, or the fourth one, whatever, was like people were a little less hot on it, I think.
Yeah.
What you got to say over there, Dusty? You giving a little
classified as a comedy or musical, so it's been doing well in the comedy or musical department.
Yeah, that's
what's the musical?
Awards and nominations.
Apparently, The Bear.
It's a musical.
Yeah.
Well, there's two categories. There's drama or comedy, and then there's comedy or musical. Those are the two categories.
I see.
Especially, or at least
definitely drama. There was actually a crazy episode with like the cast was stacked. There was Odenkirk was in it.
Oh shit. That's our boy.
Yeah.
Who else was in it? God, I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm about to look it up.
Look it up.
Jamie Lee Curtis was in it.
Oh shit.
There's one other. Oh, I forgot her name. She was in the what was the Insane Asylum show with the chick from American Horror Story?
Insane Asylum show. I don't know. Nurse something or other.
You said it was like a remake, or it was tied to the it's the Nurse something tied to that Cuckoo's.
Oh, the nurse from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Oh yeah, Nurse Crotchet or Crack, something like that.
Yes, she was in it. What's her name? I forgot her name, but she was in it. It was just a stacked episode. It was honestly insane. But
that's cool.
Great show.
Nice.
And it's got the guy from the movie we covered. What was the wrestling movie we covered? The main guy in the bear. I forgot his name. But
oh yeah, he was in. You weren't. Yeah, the one that the
wrestling movie.
Yeah, the family.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. We're all brain dead, so it's fine. Professionals.
And then oh man, the Punisher guy's in it. I can't remember names, but
the Punisher guy.
Bernthal.
Yeah, John Bernthal.
Yeah, Jonathan Bernthal.
There's a couple Punisher guys. I wasn't sure.
But he's just in, he's just in the show.
Oh, is he? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's like not a main character, but he's a pretty important character.
He's a staple character, but he's not
okay.
main.
I don't know. It's great. I'm loving the bear.
Yeah,
it's an easy watch.
One of my favorite scenes is a comedy scene. That's where they put the drugs end up in the drink. All the kids end up passed out.
Oh yeah, that was so good. Oh yeah, that guy too. I forgot his name. Man, I can't remember names, but it's a great cast.
Mom's there's a lot surrounded by Post-its.
A lot of good acting. I'm terrible. Hey, I'm terrible with names too.
I'm terrible with names.
So yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of good actors in that show. A lot of people show up through it.
Yeah.
Cool. I haven't really. Go ahead.
I watched The Day of the Jackal this week.
I haven't heard of that.
It got nominated for something.
Day of the Jackal. Eddie Redmayne, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a fucking 8.2. God damn.
Yeah.
You don't sound
convinced. It's a spy show. If you like the spy genre, it's really good.
Gotcha. Okay. I haven't really watched much of anything. I'm still like 2 episodes behind on Silo. I've been
come on.
I know. I'm letting it out. Well, listen.
Caught up with that.
I'm trying to let it build up a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I obviously Marvin and we spoke about it. The finale of wait, did you end up watching the finale of
Yellowstone?
No.
I was gonna say I refuse.
Fuck that show. No, the finale of Shrinking.
Yes, Shrinking is amazing.
Yeah, that finale was great. I don't know if you weren't here. You weren't here last week. Dusty and I talked about it real quick. I had to bring it up to you. Was it you who was like really heavily recommending Beef?
Beef? No, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. That's a great show. If you hadn't watched it, you should get that on your list, Marvin.
Beef. Oh, this is what is this? This isn't a cooking show, right?
It won some awards last year.
Fucking Beef.
No, it went through the awards last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That fucking cooking because it's called Beef.
It's called Beef. We were talking about the bear. They cook beef sandwiches.
True. No, they do cook beef. Speaking of cooking, you know what popped up on my Twitter feed? I watched it. The clip of the menu when he cooks that fucking burger towards the end of the movie.
Ooh, that burger looked fucking good.
Hell yeah, it did.
I haven't been watching it but I've kind of been watching it as she's watching it. She's watching Severance.
Season 1.
I love that show. Yeah.
Hey, season 2.
It's even better watching it the second time.
I thought about
it's one of those.
The first season.
Wait, say that again.
I still need to watch the first season.
You haven't watched it
yet? Shit, you gotta watch that.
Why don't you get on that? Grind it before season 2 starts.
Keep saying
2
that
weeks.
Every time you're like, we need to stream it. I'm like, I haven't watched the first season.
2 weeks.
Well, listen, we talked about no pressure. We talked about covering it week to week. So if that's gonna happen, you got to grind that season 1 down real quick.
Oh, it's an easy watch.
It is an easy watch. It's a very good show.
It's so good.
It's addictive. I'm very excited.
2 weeks, Severance comes out. You know they dropped the 7-minute teaser on Apple TV?
I did. I did not watch it, though.
I didn't either.
I will not watch it.
I don't have the actual service, so won't be able to watch it.
I don't even want to see it. Yeah. So, speaking of what I was talking about with like networks and stuff, this kind of pertains to that. I saw a culture, the Twitter account Culture Crave. They posted apparently Americans spent 23% less on streaming services in 2024. So I don't know. There's this whole article. I didn't really read it, but I was saving it for the show. But it says, are you paying too much for your internet? American consumers spend $273 per month on their home connectivity services driven by rising internet and TV prices.
That's a lot of money, dude.
It's in line with what I was complaining about. And honestly, I forgot that I even had this like queued up to talk about with you guys. So this is a complete coincidence that like I've been dealing with this exact thing the last day or so. But this basically goes on to say that it's about $273 per month when combining internet, mobile phone services, additional cable TV, and streaming apps. And I think here's like an app this is an article that just kind of like breaks down like the spending and stuff like that. So it's like $3,200 a year. Over a 60-year lifetime, that becomes like almost $200,000 that you're spending on all this shit. Like, if you don't really think about it in these fucking terms, but it's actually kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of crazy. So,
yeah. What would be an acceptable amount to spend monthly to watch everything you want to watch?
I don't know. TV used to be fucking free. Remember those days? You just had TV, you just turn it on, and you just get shit.
Yeah, but you were watching fucking Jimmy, whatever the fuck.
Jimmy, whatever.
9 p.m.
Hell yeah. Well,
yes.
I don't know. That's a good question. What would you, I mean, I don't know. I think there should be, I think the problem is that there's like, it's like predatory because it's monopolized in a lot of places. Like ISPs are generally also television providers, and then they are monopolies in the areas that they're in. Like Optimum has a monopoly here where I live, and so does like a couple of other places. Where you lived in Vegas, it was what, Cox and the other one. So there's like very few companies, and that just lets them charge whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
What's a reasonable price for me? I don't know. It's hard to say. There is a lot of content out there. I'm not counting the streaming services. Those are separate entities. They could charge whatever they want. But for just TV, I don't think it should be any more than like $150 a month if you're packaging TV and internet. Like that seems a little bit crazy to me. But what do I know?
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah. So it pertaining to that article I was just talking about, that the channel Heavy Spoilers was tweeting about it, and he said something pretty interesting. He says the switch to focusing on streaming might be one of the biggest examples of movie studios shooting themselves in the foot ever. It killed the box office of a lot of films and then kneecapped the market after that. If a film underperformed, it still had a life on VHS, DVD, etc., as either a purchase or even a rental title. Then a TV network would buy the rights to show it. Streaming has also turned big franchises like Star Wars and Marvel that used to be events into content to get subscribers. One of the all-time big bag fumbles.
Everything's content. And
I think that's a really good point. And he goes on to say a Christopher Nolan movie is never going to be described as content. Avatar has had 2 of the biggest films of all time because James Cameron isn't seen as a guy who just makes content. Star Wars went from the biggest franchise of all time to now some streaming property that doesn't even crack the top 10 on the charts. Hollywood needs to pull the plug on this whole model. What do you guys think of that? I agree.
They're chasing the bag.
Yeah.
Sonic's $1 billion franchise now.
Sonic's what? Sonic the Hedgehog.
movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of them. I will
trilogy
not.
movies.
I haven't
watch
seen
those.
them either. No, I completely degaff.
I think one of the big problems is all the proprietary ways that the companies make you go to them for it. Like, Disney has
So they all have
Disney
their own
Plus,
streaming services. Yeah.
Max, HBO, Warner Brothers has Max, and they're all like, "We're exclusive. Come to us. We have this content." If somebody said, here's an open source platform where everybody can put everything out on it and people can pay for it, bid on it, whatever, and the market would decide what it's worth.
Yeah.
You might have a system there, but
This guy says right here, the biggest turnoff with this model is that every studio thinks they need a streaming service. Having access to the
Correct.
stuff you like now costs more than cable did. So people are just going to pirate everything again until the services bankrupt the studios.
right. But then you could argue, like, if they all came together and then put it in one package, like they're trying to do with the sports packaging right now, is what Sony, I think, and Disney and WB are trying to do with their sports packaging. There's some people that are fighting it, saying that they're going to be a monopoly.
I remember
because
you.
they're trying to give everybody, everything in one place. But
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. But I mean, I don't think that's that big of a deal. Like, I mean, why not? What's wrong with having everything in one place? It's certainly better than paying $50 here, $50 there, because part of this whole like Optimum thing that I was telling you guys about. So MSG Networks partnered with Yes Network. Yes Network is where the Yankees are on, right?
Yeah.
So MSG Network and Yes Network partnered to combine, and they have the Gotham Sports app. So you get access to all sports in the tri-state area: Rangers, Islanders, Knicks, Yankees, Devils, whatever, New York sports. Okay, minus football. Gotham Sports app. If you want access to MSG Network stuff, it's like $30 a month. If you want access to Yes Network, it's $30 a month. If you want access to both, it's $60 a month. It's like $400 a year for access to both. That's crazy. $30 a month is crazy. And there's a there's a contract dispute with Optimum. I got news for anybody listening that has Optimum. You ain't getting MSG back. I'll tell you that, because this is just gonna force people to go pay for the Gotham Sports app. I ain't gonna pay for that shit, but normies will. So
the problem with it all being in one place is there won't be any type of competition. So if they're all under one thing, then one person is dictating the price. And usually competition is what is keeping the prices like down, because they're trying to be competitive. If they all get under the same brand, then they can make the price whatever they want, and the consumer is just fucked.
Well, it wouldn't be the same brand. It would just be like it'd be a generic storefront where they're all in the same store.
Yeah.
And not a single one of them controls the store. The consumers do. So the price would probably be driven on who's buying what. Because if somebody's buying more of Disney Plus and less of Max, then Max is going to have to lower their prices to compete with.
Yeah.
But they're all in the same store.
I got you.
Basically like a deli selling Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah.
Side by side. If Coke is cheaper, more people are going to buy it, thus making Pepsi want to reconsider their prices when they realize more people are buying Coke, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, that makes more sense. I thought you were talking about like actually merging, like
no.
We'll just fuck over
that's also part of the problem is we've propped up these businesses and they're so fucking big, and now they're too big to fail. Of course, they've been too big to fail for decades now, but
we're living in
and then we
late
shut
stage
down
capitalism.
the small businesses with the recent events of the
Yep. And no matter what, the consumer always loses.
world events. Yeah.
So, good luck, everybody.
Yep.
What kind of news you got for us this week, Dusty? Let's get into some news.
Let's see.
Bring that mic closer. You're perfectly centered right now. You were like off to the fucking left earlier.
Okay, hang on.
What's going on?
No, it's not gonna do it.
Dusty goes remote now. Marvin, you aren't here for this. He's got new tech.
I like it. I see where we're going. He's got a tablet or something.
He's got a tablet up in front of him. He's chilling. He's good. He's like Fred from Howard Stern. He just needs to be able to play sound bites.
Okay, so news. We got the 82nd annual Golden
Yep.
Globes. Nikki
Mhm, mhm.
Glaser hosted. They said she made about $400,000, and they like her going forward, so she's gonna charge them a lot more, I guess, next time, is the rumors.
Okay.
Good.
The big ones, Shogun and The Brutalist. The Brutalist got 7 noms and 3 wins. Those got Best Drama, TV Show, and Film. And then Hacks and Amelia Perez got Best Comedy or Musical, TV and Film, respectively. It was actually Brutalist and Perez. Those were the two. 7 nominations, 10 nominations, 3 wins, 4 wins. Those are the only 2 movies that had multiple wins.
Yeah.
So it was just really those 2 movies. What was that?
Anora.
Anora or
Mhm.
something was the movie that got snubbed.
I heard Anora's really good.
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, all of these are probably very good. We talk about this all the time. Like around all these movies that come out around like award season, they're all like probably, anything that won a Golden Globe generally is going to win an Oscar. It's usually how it works.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, not always. Like The Brutalist, that movie, it's not Oscar bait, Marvin. I could see you thinking about it because you like that term since I brought it up. Not Oscar bait, but it's got the makings of like winning every award at Oscar season. I want to put it on our list, but 3.5 hours is asking a lot.
You watched it?
Yeah.
No, I want to watch it. I've heard it's really, really good, and it probably is very, very good. To be fair, I also really want to watch Conclave. I was gonna put that. Did I put that on our schedule? I was gonna put it on our schedule for this month, but I don't think it's on streaming yet. And as we've discussed many, many times, we usually stick to movies that are available on streaming so people could watch along with us. Speaking of which, folks, you could join our Discord. There'll be a link down below. We post our schedule for the whole month, so you can watch along with us. Check that out. But no, it is not on our list for this month. But yeah.
Okay.
Brutalist won Best Motion Picture. A Complete Unknown, which I still haven't seen and I can't wait, was nominated for Best Motion Picture, along with Conclave, Nickel Boys, September 5th, The Nora, Challengers, Amelia Perez, A Real Pain, and The Substance. There's a lot of, it's like
The Substance. Did The Substance win anything?
Yes.
Don't know. Dusty will have to tell you about it.
Yeah. Demi,
One win.
Demi got a win. Yeah.
Yeah, she did. She won Best Performance by a female actor in a motion picture.
Musical or comedy?
So she's coming for that. She's coming for that Oscar.
Yeah, the only 2 categories they do is going to be drama and then musical or comedy. So those are the only 2 categories for film and TV shows.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's why The Bear is a big stink, because people are like, it's not a fucking comedy, it's a drama, but it's in the best. It's in the comedy and musical category every year.
Yeah.
But anyways, we talked about the Batman being delayed. Matt Reeves stuck to deadline at the Golden Globes. You can tell you that we're going to be shooting this year, and we're excited about it. So there's that. But also news: The Brave and the Bold delays. Also apparently because of script issues.
Really?
Director and screenwriter Andy Muschietti, along with Alien Romulus scribe Rodo Seagas. They're apparently having issues getting a script that Gunn likes. And Gunn said that he's not going to start production, and it could be 3 months, 3 years. I won't start it unless I like it. So but Muschietti was talking about it, I think also at the Golden Globes, where this was an interview some other time. He's like, I'm writing a science fiction movie that I would like to do. Batman is a project, and it's been postponed a bit. So there could be another film before it, possibly that one. So, that was with Collider, who he was talking with right there. I don't know. And then James Gunn, he's contemplated bringing in Bobby P's Batman into the DCU. So we might not see a Batman for a long time, because
I don't know that he's contemplated it. There's been no confirmation.
He contemplated it. That doesn't mean he's considered it strongly, but
I don't even know that he has. I think that's just complete rumor that was the case.
Oh, okay.
But speaking of Batman, there was a in I think the most
that doesn't
recent
go away. It's so dumb.
Oh, that's fucking annoying. I think in the most recent
Yeah.
episode of Creature Commandos, we got a glimpse of the Bat. And he's looking a little brolic. Now, that doesn't mean that this is completely representative of the Batman in James Gunn's DCU, but it has reignited some of the fan castings for your
Not
boy.
this fucking guy. Please,
Oh,
no.
yeah. Oh, yeah. He's
Well,
like,
apparently, Clint Eastwood's son Scott has thrown his name into the ring. Said he'd love to do it too.
really?
Yeah,
Well, he's the number one fan cast right here, Alan Richson.
yeah.
He said he wants to play the Bat. Everybody thinks he would be a good
Yeah,
fit
of course
for the
he wants
Bat.
to play the Bat. I want to play the fucking Bat. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Jensen Ackles would do a good job. I think Scott Eastwood would do a pretty good job too, to be honest.
Well, listen, it depends on the size that he's going for because of this
If
picture.
you want to do an old man, you could do a Carl Urban. But yeah, that's the question really is if we're not going to get Bobby P as the Batman, and we're not going to get a Brave and the Bold for, I don't know, if Andy Muschietti does another film before he does Brave and the Bold, we're not going to see it for a few years. Is James Gunn going to throw us? Is he going to sign a Batman secretly and throw it at us in one of these movies before the Brave and the Bold? Is we going to see him in a Supergirl or Superman? Is he already cast him? We don't know yet. Is there going to be a surprise cameo?
Ooh.
I don't know, but here he is again. Who are good candidates for DCU's Batman?
So, yeah.
This motherfucker don't even look smart. Batman's smart.
Yo, this motherfucker don't even look smart. This is
You can't have a
fucking.
fucking,
this
you can't have a
shit is
fucking
crazy.
meathead as Batman. I just can't. I
He's-
can't stand it.
He's not a meathead, but I mean, listen, I'm a little torn on him. I think he's great as Reacher. Personally, I do not like the big hulking Batman. I like a little bit more slim
A little
Batman.
bit.
But
Just a little bit.
But that doesn't mean, it depends. It depends. This guy's fucking huge. If you watch Reacher, Marvin, he's like not even a human being. He's like genetically engineered big. He's crazy. Crazy big.
Yeah, I've seen him.
I think Jensen Ackles is my like number one choice, personally. But we'll see. We'll see.
What the fuck is that?
John Hamm.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a little older though.
I think he's a little too old. Yeah, he's a little too old.
Yeah.
But you never know. Maybe we'll get
Yeah.
an older Batman. Maybe this is an older Batman. Who knows?
Yeah,
We'll see.
Well,
true.
speaking of roles, Jason Momoa has confirmed his Lobo role via Instagram.
Yep, yep.
He posted that interview he did with Fandango with the subcaption they called. And according to Deadline, he will appear in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow in 2026.
Lobo, yeah, that looks
This
like a
is
good.
based on Tom King's 2022 comic run, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. So I don't know what role Lobo has. I haven't read that series,
There-
but it might be one worth sit down to read before the movie comes out.
In the history of comic book movies, you look at castings comparatively to their comic book counterparts. And, Robert Downey Jr., obviously brilliant casting as Tony Stark. Chris Evans, brilliant casting as Cap. Steve Rogers. I think this fucking trumps them too. Like, I don't think there's a better casting than this motherfucker as Lobo. I mean, it's literally identical.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Ryan Reynolds' as Deadpool, I think, is
Well, but that's like a mask. It doesn't really like.
yeah, but
No, yes.
Ryan Reynolds as a person, and
Totally.
Deadpool the character.
Totally nails the
It's like Heath Ledger as the Joker.
yeah, totally nails that like attitude and that stuff. But I'm saying like just pure looks. I mean, damn. And he's talked a lot about it. He wanted to play Lobo. Here's a quote. So Lobo was ... I collect comics and I don't do so much anymore, but he was always my favorite, and I always wanted to play Lobo because I'm like, hello, it's the perfect role, he said. I mean, listen, if they call and ask me to play him, it's a fuck yeah. I haven't received that call, so I don't want to put any fake news out there. But if they ever call me and ask me to play or ask me to audition, I'm there. So he's wanted to play this role for a really long time. I've also heard him say separately that when he got the call to play Aquaman in Zack Snyder's piece of shit universe, that he originally was excited. He thought he was getting called for Lobo.
Ooh.
Right.
And he ended up getting fucking
It was a
Aquaman.
letdown for him.
So yeah, this is like he's big into Lobo. He wants to play him. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how akin this is to Channing Tatum trying to do fucking Gambit his entire life. Is it the same? Is it
I
similar?
don't know, but these are the types of people that you want to go after because
Yeah, no, I think he'll do a great job. I'm not
exactly. They care. They
Just
care
like-
about the role.
It's just like Henry Cavill and The Witcher.
Yeah.
And Superman. Henry Cavill loves
Yeah.
both characters. He got fucked.
Yeah.
Poor guy. All right. What other news you got for us, Dusty?
Well, we go back to Demi Moore's horror nom.
Yeah.
Good for the genre, Dan.
Yeah, it is.
It's a rarity, Marvin, a big
Really?
rarity. Coralie Forgeet's The Substance won a Golden Globe. Obviously, we just talked about it. This is Demi's first ever major award, by the way, which is crazy because she's 62. She's been in some bangers.
Very crazy to think
she
about.
She got nominated for Ghost. I think she won a Saturn Award for it. But like as far as Golden Globes or Oscars or anything, this is it for her. This is her first big win.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But speaking of Academy Awards, 95-year history, only 6 horror films have been nominated, Marvin. The Exorcist, Jaws, The Sixth Sense, Black Swan, Get Out, and The Silence of the Lambs.
And those are all such like
Wait,
those are say that again slowly.
Black Swan. Oh yeah, that was a good one.
The Exorcist in 73, Jaws in 75, Sixth Sense in
Mhm.
99, Black Swan 2010, Get Out 2017, and then Silence of the Lambs 1991 being the only horror film to win.
I wouldn't even call that a fucking horror movie, Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs?
More like a psychological thriller, if anything.
Yeah.
Out of all those movies, the
In line.
only true horror movie is The Exorcist. And the rest are just like borderline horror or like lightweight horror. Like I want to see some real horror shit.
Black
get
Swan
appreciated.
definitely wasn't horror. Well,
No, it's like a psychological fucking thriller kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not scary. Like
Yeah.
people throw around.
And it's
the
even
term-
rarer though for actors to get nominated for performances like Best Actor, Best Actress. So
because horror
the
movies.
fact that Demi Moore is chasing a nomination for Best Female Performance, because she might get an Oscar nod for this.
she'll probably
as
get
well,
it.
so.
She'll probably get it because they usually do
that's
that
fire.
at points in people's career. Like
She won a
uh,
Lifetime Award not too long ago, a Lifetime Film Award.
yeah. I mean, look at Martin Scorsese, like finally getting his Oscar for like arguably the film of his that like deserved it the least. Like,
So
so
that list you said of those, I've seen almost all of those.
that's big for you.
Yeah.
Which one do you
Yeah.
think I haven't seen?
Okay, so we
Sixth
got hang on,
Sense, right? You haven't
Exorcist-
seen that one yet, right? We do that one?
No, he hasn't seen The Sixth Sense. We've actually talked about this. I remember.
Okay, so then it's 2.
It's fine.
I
I
haven't seen it.
never know the movies he hasn't seen. This fucking guy. All right, so I know he's seen Jaws. We made him watch it.
Yeah.
I know he's seen Get Out because that's his favorite movie.
It's not my favorite movie.
That's one of your favorite movies.
Well,
No, what?
we
I
already
thought you loved
confirmed.
Get Out. I thought
I
like,
love Get
so
Out,
you-
but that's not like on my favorite
Oh, okay.
list or
Okay.
anything.
Oh, I got to tell you
Silence
something
of the
too.
Lambs?
Oh, he definitely hasn't seen.
That's
Silence
the
of
other
Lambs.
one, yeah.
For sure hasn't seen Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
But I've seen the
man.
Black Swan. I've seen I can't remember the list, but I've seen the rest.
So
Jaws.
speaking of your favorite
so
movie,
you've seen Sixth Sense? Or no, you
no, I haven't
don't know
seen
if you-
Sixth Sense either.
Yeah.
speaking of your favorite movies, Marvin, my aunt my aunt, she
Yep.
she watches a lot of stuff that I
Shout
recommend.
out.
So she she messaged me the other night. She goes, "Have you seen Interstellar? And is it
Oh.
good?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
is it
masterpiece."
good?
She goes, "Oh, are you being sarcastic?" I said, "No, it's one of the best movies ever made." She goes, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna watch it." And I was like, "Fuck," because I just knew the questions were gonna come, right?
Whew.
So yesterday I had her on the phone for about 2 hours explaining to her like time dilation and
You should have
like,
called me in.
special and general relativity and like all this shit that the movie.
I would have been there for the phone a friend. Like,
Oh my god, so funny. But she loved it. She just didn't understand most of it. She's got to watch it
that's
again.
fair.
Yeah, tough movie.
I'm gonna watch it after this. Probably
Oh shit. All right.
fall asleep watching it.
Well, I think Demi Moore will get the Oscar. I hope she gets it. I haven't seen the movie,
Yeah.
but I heard it's really good, and I'm actually excited to
So
watch
good,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Fantastic.
we talk about it a lot about how much people hype up horror films when they come out. Well,
Well,
this one actually got nominated and won an award, so definitely should be one on the list that we're going to watch about because we like to
listen,
lean into the horror category because Dan.
What?
But
Because Dan, we all like
Because
horror.
Dan.
Yeah, you said it with such like
You're the biggest
anger.
horror fan
Dan.
here. No.
Hey, listen.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, no, but this might be getting Oscars and shit, but listen, it didn't make people throw up in the theaters like Longlegs did. Okay?
That's true. It's not Terrifier 3.
Yeah,
Some gross stuff. I won't spoil anything in
No, I've
the
heard.
substance, but there's some gross stuff in there.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I hope it does well because it's just
me
good for the
too,
genre
actually.
itself.
Yeah.
What else you got for us?
Well, I got the final piece of news unless you guys got any more.
I have one thing that I was excited about. It's not really like newsworthy, but I did want to bring it up. I don't know if you guys saw it, but have you guys watched the Fear Street trilogy that's on Netflix based off of the R.L. Stein books?
Nope. I heard about it, but
Do you know who R.L. Stein is, Marvin?
yes.
Okay. So for those of you that don't
Come on,
know,
Dan.
you're shameful of you who don't know. But R.L. Stein was a children's book writer in my day. He wrote Goosebumps, very popular horror books for kids. I collected all of them.
New series dropping Friday.
Really?
Disney Plus. Yeah.
Is it it's the one with what's his name, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just know there's a new Goosebumps series dropping on Disney Plus Friday because my boy's a big fan. So
Well, it's not a new series. It's like the next season of it. It's like
yeah.
But this one is supposed to have what's his name? The dude from Friends, I think. This dude.
Oh, this motherfucker?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Unless this one came out.
What
No,
happened
here
to
it
his
is. Yeah,
face?
January 10th, 2025. He's fucking got old and fat, Marvin. What happens? Anyway,
That's fair.
talking about David Schwimmer, by the way, folks, if you're not. But yeah, no, I'm actually
You'd have
excited for
to
this.
be-
Season 1 was actually like really kind of bad, but also kind of good. It was like very like Zoomer, like coded, like TikTok brained type of thing.
Yeah, we got to stop leaning into that.
Yeah.
Sell, to
Yeah,
like
apparently
make
there's
stuff
going to be a
popular.
found footage episode.
That's cool. This season is based on an actual one of the books, where season 1 was just like its own story, but like had aspects of each of like some of the more popular books.
Okay.
This is like I think more focused on one book, but I'm actually excited for this. I'm looking forward to it.
Friday.
Yeah, a couple days.
Oh, okay. I don't know
Yeah.
if you said that. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyhow, Goosebumps was like the more like children's books back in the day, and then they did R.L. Stein had Fear Street, which was more of like a I guess like not preteen, but like younger teen style of horror
Like a
book.
little, yeah.
Yeah, and then Netflix put out this trilogy of movies about based on Fear Street a couple years ago, and they were so good. I was so blown away by them. I had watched them just to be like, oh, just fun sort of little like horror movies to watch, but they were like really good, and I highly recommend them. They're 3
Nice.
separate stories that like kind of like coincide with one another. And they were good. So now 3 new Fear Street films are in the works, and that's very exciting.
Are they full length movies,
Cool.
each of them, or is it like short movies?
No, they're full length movies. Full length.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were very good. The chick from Stranger Things is in it. The redhead, Sadie Sink.
Oh, okay.
She was great in it. Basically about like generation. It's like a generational story. And they're like fun horror movies. They're not like dead serious, like
Yeah.
brutal fucking horror movies. But there's like it's just they were really good and fun, but like not super like adult themed. But they were like borderline. You know what I mean? But they were just good. They were good. I really liked them, and this is exciting to me. So yeah, that was the only thing I had. So what's your final piece, Dusty?
All right. Well, we got Mr. Jesse Eisenberg on how A Real Pain actually came about. He's on the actors or the writers roundtable, I guess. They put this out. Usually you get the YouTube video, but that has not dropped yet. So this is the text version that we're looking at here. But He's writing a short story about two friends who go to Mongolia, and it really wasn't going well for him. Then an ad popped up online for Auschwitz tours, and in the parentheses said with lunch and laughs, and he didn't. Those words basically changed his life, is what he said, because he rewrote the whole story and turned it into what it is, which is two friends going through some trauma, revisiting some historical trauma, and yeah.
Right.
So apparently there's some behind the scenes where Jesse and Kieran are talking about how he got to do some improving in the role. Because he wasn't sure. He's like, this is my script. You're going to do it the way I told it to you. But he had to improv something and he loved it. So we let him improv a little bit more and a little bit more. And so, it turned into what it was, which is a hybridization of it. And I guess also Kieran almost quit.
Really?
And Emma Stone had to bribe him to come back.
Why Emma Stone?
I don't really get into they're all friends, I guess. I don't know.
The elite. The Hollywood elite, Marvin.
Yeah. But it speaking of that one, it streams on Hulu January 16th. So you can watch it pretty soon.
I think it's purchasable.
That's all the news. Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it's coming to Hulu on the 16th.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the news, Dusty. Let's get into the review of A Real Pain. So, as I said, it's award season, and A Real Pain picked up a Golden Globe. I wonder if it'll do anything at the Oscars. Kieran Culkin, who co-stars in this, won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor, I believe. And
yep.
Yeah. And this is a movie about some estranged cousins who sort of reunite for a tour through Poland to honor their beloved grandmother who recently passed away. And there's some sort of like old, I don't want to say tension, but old, like just familial things that sort of crop up on this trip. And I feel like they kind of both like discover some things about themselves. And this is like just a really simple character movie, I guess. These seem like rarer and rarer these days, at least from the movies that we watch. I just think these types of movies are very few and far between nowadays. And so when award season comes around, it's a little bit exciting because you're actually watching like fucking real movies. I hate to be that type of guy, but like, good God, some of the shit that we watch. Speaking of which, did you watch Gladiator 2, Marvin?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh, don't even bother. Don't even bother. It was so bad. But yeah, so this is what I would call a real movie, and it's written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg, as Dusty was just talking about. It stars Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin. They play the two cousins, Benji and David Kaplan. And then we have a supporting cast of a couple people that I'm not really too familiar with, except for, I don't know if you recognized her, Dusty, but Jennifer Grey, who played Marcia, the older lady who was divorced and stuff on the trip. Jennifer Grey, those of you who don't know, 80s icon from Dirty Dancing, Baby, and Jeannie, Ferris Bueller's sister in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She's a 80s icon. So that was cool to see her in something after all these years. I had seen her previously in a show called Red Oaks, but it was cool to see her pop up in this. Yeah, so start with you, Marvin. What'd you think?
Oh, okay. So at first watching this movie, I was thinking, did we watch this movie because this dude looks like Dan? Like, is that why we're watching this movie?
You think I look like Kieran Culkin?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Not with the big. Come on, I do not look like him.
Nah, not like that.
That ain't me. That
looks psychopathic. But no, I thought it was good. Maybe it was just a bit underwhelming.
Well, I think underwhelming is actually like a big part of the plot. But go ahead.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, so the movie is these two guys, like it's really about them sort of reconnecting, but also connecting not with just each other, but themselves, right?
Yeah.
And against the backdrop of, it's basically them like sort of facing like their own like kind of personal, I don't want to say demons, but kind of demons, but also like insecurities, just like all that stuff, but against the backdrop of like a greater trauma of the Holocaust because they're basically walking in the path of their ancestors, Polish Jews who were put in concentration camps and stuff. But the end of the movie, because the whole trip is meant for them to visit their grandmother's house where she grew up in Poland, and like they visit it, and even they say they're like, well, it's kind of underwhelming. Like, I don't know,
true. Yeah.
I don't know what I expected, but I think that's like the point of the movie is that like there's not meant to be like this huge like discovery or profound thing that happens. It's just like, oh, okay, now we go back to like life as usual. Maybe we're a little bit better for the experience, maybe we're not. The ending kind of plays into that, which we'll get into in a bit, but yeah, so that's kind of what I meant by that. But go ahead.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, no, if that was the point, that just kind of leaves me.
I don't know if that was. That's kind of what I took from it.
No, that makes sense. No, I understand that. That just kind of leaves me like, what was the point of this then? If there was no real point to the movie,
just a character drama, really. I mean, like those are. This is like one of those movies that like doesn't necessarily have a point, really. It's just you're watching.
Yeah, no, I get that. We've watched plenty of those.
Yeah. You're watching
like the
character
Holdovers we watched, which was the same exact thing, but
Very
that
similar,
was way more like engaging and like.
Yeah, I can understand that
sort of thing to me. Like this.
No, I can understand that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's fair.
It had more of a character arc to it, whereas this was just character discovery per se. You weren't really, they weren't going anywhere. They were just, you're kind of walking with them through this experience. And
yeah,
it can be they're trudging along and you're kind of trudging along with them. So it can kind of bring the vibe of the movie down and the experience of the movie down. I can see, I mean, I don't know. As I had that feeling a few times, like, man, this is what we're doing, huh? Okay.
I don't know. It just
I mean, it was done well. So
I think, was this Jesse's first?
It did a short, I want to say. And that was something Kieran talked about. Like, well, this is actor, director, producer, or actor, writer, director. You know, this is his first actor, writer, director. I'm pretty sure.
He did
He
direct
directed a short, but this is like his
when you finish Saving the World.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's good to be his first real film.
Okay.
Yes.
First feature, yeah.
First feature. Maybe it was a little short. It was only an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. I actually think that's a perfect runtime for the subject matter that you're dealing with, because it's kind of a heavy movie. You know what? Like, you're dealing with like heavy subject matter. Like, spoilers. One of the main characters like attempted suicide.
Yeah.
And one of the other main characters is like really upset about that. They're both mourning the loss of their grandmother, and then we're also with them on basically a Holocaust trip, like visiting a concentration camp and like all these places. So the subject matter is like kind of heavy. So I think for that, the hour and a half was like perfect.
That's fair. I think that is fair.
So I think the
for
pacing
all
was pretty good.
Heavy subject matter and the deep topics around it, it just kind of felt empty. Like, I don't know why I didn't really connect with this.
That's fair. Yeah.
Feel much like, I don't know if it was the performances. I feel like the cousin, the guy that won the
Jesse Eisenberg you're talking about?
No.
The other one?
Yeah, the other guy. Yeah,
Kieran Culkin.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like his performance was pretty good. I don't
hope so. He won.
I didn't really get
for it.
Well, I mean that only holds so much.
No, I know.
But I didn't really get much from Jesse's performance too much. I don't know. I didn't really feel this
that a little bit too.
That big.
Well, Jesse Eisenberg, he always plays that like sort of neurotic, very like anxiety riddled, sort of uptight person.
Yeah.
And he kind of
just killed that in like the Facebook. What was the Facebook movie?
Social Network.
The Social Network. He killed it in that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good actor.
I didn't feel the same energy out of him in this one, which felt weird because this is him acting, directing, and writing.
That could be a number of different things. I don't want to. It's not, it's a cop out to say maybe that was just the point. Maybe that was just what the character was supposed to be. Sort of a more like, how do I explain it? Like less in your face type of guy. Like he's the type of guy that I feel like in his character is the type of person that just kind of blends into the background.
A forgettable character.
He's forgettable.
NPC he's almost
in real life. Like I'm saying, his character. If this character existed in real life, that's who he is. Like he's a forgettable person. He's like Walter White before he became Heisenberg. He goes about his business. He has a good job. He's married. He has a kid. Those are the things that are important to him. And so I feel like he played that pretty well. Like, but I know that kind of comes off as a cop-out. So that's how kind of I took it. The other option could just be maybe the multiple duties of a writer and producer and starring and directing could take a toll. I'm sure it's not easy to star and direct. So that could be too. I didn't really find any issues with his performance personally, but I could see where you guys are coming from about that. But
was this like not Oscar? Is this? Do you think this is like an Oscar-worthy movie? Like,
it'll probably be considered for their Oscars. Yeah.
No, I'm saying you personally.
Do I think it was an Oscar-worthy movie to like win or be nominated? I don't think it's worthy
either
to win. I could see it being nominated. I think the performances, were really good personally. Especially from Kieran Culkin. I don't know. Like Jesse Eisenberg to me, like he always plays the same character. That's why I like kind of brought that up, that he literally always plays this sort of like a bumbly stumbly, like not really confident in his words, sort of like just rattled sort of character. Even back to like his earliest roles in movies that I love, like a comedy Adventureland. It's like a comedy rom-com type of movie. He always just plays that character. He even played that character in The Social Network. He just becomes like a more ruthless version of that when he like becomes the character. And he even played Lex Luthor that way, which is why I fucking hated his version of Lex Luthor in Zack Snyder's dog shit Justice League Luthor. And Batman v Superman. No, he's not.
Wow.
But he played it the same way. He basically took his character from The Social Network and applied it to Lex Luthor. And so that's just like kind of, I don't know if that's who he is as a person, but he always plays that same character. So when I say that like his performance didn't do much for me, it's not that I don't think it was good. It's just that like he just played the same thing I've always seen him play.
Yeah.
And then Kieran Culkin as Benji plays like the total opposite of that, which I think was the standout performance and I think was worthy of his Golden Globe win and perhaps his Oscar win if he gets nominated, which he probably will. But he plays sort of like a tactless sort of kind of asshole, but also charming in a way. And they are like the complete opposites in terms of personality.
Yeah.
So,
it's an interesting dynamic because we're here talking about this because probably because this has got nominated, I would imagine, because it's getting talked about and it's highly rated. But
no, I actually didn't realize it was going to get nominated when I picked it. I just wanted to see it.
His nomination is basically based on, we talked about his improvisation of the character a lot. So this isn't even like Jesse's character that won the nomination. It's Kieran's take on it.
Yes.
And it's his flavor of it that really made this movie stand out for what it was. Otherwise, I think if it had been anybody else, if he'd have bailed out and he hadn't delivered that performance, I would have been like, this movie sucked. But,
that's fair. So you think that like minus Kieran's performance, this movie's not that great?
I think he carried the movie. Again, some of these types of movies I just can't really get into. I thought it was interesting and it was entertaining, but I wasn't blown away by anything at all, really. I mean.
Yeah, I think I share that opinion. I wasn't like super blown away by it. I thought it was a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it. But I did get like it was like the emotional parts of it were effective for me. I think a couple times. Again, I know this sounds like a cop out, but I think what you just described about Kieran Culkin's performance, I think was like, maybe it happened accidentally but I think that's like the whole point of that. It's like,
Right.
he's really the star of the movie, which is weird that he won Best Supporting Actor, right? Is that what he won, Best Supporting Actor?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because like he really is the star of the movie.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I know the movie's like, I know it tells you it's about both of them, but from my perspective, it's really about him, because the movie opens with him sitting alone in the airport, kind of just staring off into space. It ends with him in the airport staring off into space in the same shot. He's the one that like is kind of like dealing with the loss of their grandmother. Like he just kind of has like an empty life. Like empty is sort of like subjective, but he, like, they talk about a lot. He lives on his mom's couch in the basement, and like he doesn't have a job, and like at the end of the movie, Jesse Eisenberg asks him like, "Hey, what are you gonna do when you go home?" And he doesn't know how to answer. He's like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna help my friend like fucking roof his house or something." Like,
I think it's because he wasn't going home. I think that's why they showed him at the.
You think that's why?
It's like he's homeless because he was just hanging out at the airport, and then when he got back to there, he was just hanging out again.
Do you think he's kind of just like a Rolling Stone?
Yeah, ever since his failed suicide attempt, I don't know, he's just been.
Yeah, I think it's like actually kind of like multi-layered too, because it's like you look at it from Jesse Eisenberg's character's perspective, David. Like he doesn't even like know his cousin anymore, right? Like, so you could take it that way too, and it would be perfectly legitimate. So there's like a lot of different, I think, ways to sort of interpret kind of like what is going on here. Like he could be homeless. He could just be like staring out the window and like thinking about like where he's gonna go to next. But like clearly they're like mourning a little bit differently, obviously, right? Because I think it hit him a little bit harder because he like doesn't have anything else really.
Yeah. Yep. It's easy for that to happen.
I don't know.
I feel like.
I think you just showed them. It showed them both dealing with it in their own ways, because Jesse had a breakdown. I mean, it is just basically a movie about the human condition, because while Jesse is the successful one with the wife and the kid and everything together, he still had an emotional breakdown and couldn't keep it together and had his own problems. And I thought they were going to do something with, he was fighting with his wife or something, because you were seeing getting messages with his daughter's messages about the facts and stuff, but then he tried to call his wife and she wasn't answering. I thought there's going to be something there that never happened. So
no, I think he was just a little bit homesick.
Yeah. But you know, him being that successful person and still having that breakdown, and you know, that with the hopelessness that he feels, Kieran's character felt this. They both felt them. They just hadn't really talked about it because they hadn't connected, because they were estranged. But and you kind of get that messaging at the end. He's all, you know, you used to be different. What happened to you? But I mean, that's the message I kind of got away from it. But again, this is about, it's the human condition, and that's like, yeah.
Well, and also all the other characters, like the side characters, they're all kind of like dealing with their own sort of little things too. Like Jennifer Grey was Marcia. She was going through a divorce and like kind of dating somebody new, but her kids kind of don't really keep up with her. You had the couple, the older couple, who were kind of like, they don't really super go into their stuff, but like, it was like, it was what Mark and Diane, like they were just an older couple, I guess, trying to explore their roots kind of, it seemed. You know, you had Elogi, I think was his name, who was part of like an African genocide, who then turned to Judaism because he like felt connected to it in a way. I thought his character was really cool. And I also really liked the guy who was leading the tour group guy.
Oh, he was great too, yeah.
And I think that was Will Sharp. Yeah. And like, he was like pretty charming too, because here he is like trying to like just provide this service, but like there was that one scene where he gets fucking yelled at because the trip is like kind of hollow or whatever. But yeah, no, I thought they were all pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. I get what you guys are saying too, 100%. And Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Benji kind of just came off as like, I guess like a free spirit type of kind of guy, but like, it gets to a point where it's like, oh, okay, at what age does that become acceptable? Is it acceptable, or does it not matter because it's completely subjective to the individual, like how they want to live their life? And I think they were dealing with different things, which is why sort of placing it against like the trauma of the Holocaust, which is like, I don't know, there was just like a juxtaposition of like millions of people being murdered versus like two individual problems that like on the grand scheme of things don't really matter that much, but they do matter because they're personal to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just a really cool, like sort of, it was an interesting way to like showcase that, I thought. But like Benji, I feel like his grandmother's death probably triggered like a identity crisis of sorts, of like, he probably is like, what am I going to do with my life going forward? And then from David's perspective, Benji's somebody that he always looked up to, because he says it at these, like, that scene at the restaurant where he's like, I don't understand, like, this fucking guy, like, he's an asshole, but like everybody loves him always. He's charming. He's confident. Like, I would give anything to have like a shred of that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit him really hard when he found out that like he tried to kill himself, because he's like, wow, I want to be this guy.
My hero human.
is, yeah. And it reminded me, actually, and you just said it perfectly, there's a scene in the show Scrubs. I don't know if either of you have watched it. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I think, Dusty, you've watched it, right?
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen every episode ever aired, but I've
same.
seen a lot of Scrubs.
Well, okay.
I watched some of it, yeah.
So Dr. Cox is like the guy that, what's his name, looks up to, Zach Braff's character.
Yeah.
There's one episode early on when Zach Braff, where they're still like interns or whatever, and there's just a lot of like deaths happening in the hospital in this episode. And Dr. Cox is like fucking losing it because he's losing patients. And he at one point like flips out and like throws his clipboard and starts walking away. And the shot is Dr. Cox walking away. And from Zach Braff's perspective, he's wearing a cape, like a Superman cape, and it like falls off.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like indicative of like, wow, even our heroes like sometimes fail. And I think that was more of the crisis that Jesse Eisenberg's character was dealing with than anything else.
For sure. I think so, yeah.
Because he could deal with his humdrum life because he always had his cousin to sort of come back to and be like, oh, he's the guy I could like turn to smoke weed on a roof. You know what I mean? So if that person's kind of fucking in shambles, like, what does that mean for you? Kind of. That's how I took it anyway.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that too.
But at the end, I wanted to talk about the ending because it is kind of open-ended, and I mentioned that he like does sort of it is him sitting back in the airport where we saw him in the beginning, sort of staring off into space. And I mean, you took it as him being homeless and like really having nowhere to go. I took it as him just kind of like contemplating like what he's going to do next. How did you take it, Dusty?
Yeah, it's him looking to what is next upon the horizon, because that's kind of where he started the whole journey of going back to see his grandma. Now that's over. So it's right. Contemplation meets somebody going on a new adventure and figure out what to do with his life. I would imagine. Yeah. Just a new chapter is really what it was about.
Yeah. I think, so I looked it up on Reddit. Well, I found a Reddit thread because I wanted to see what other people were thinking about it. And it is pretty open-ended. Like this guy here on Reddit says he walked away thinking that the trip had done nothing for Benji, and that staying in the airport alone signified something darker and more troublesome was about to happen to him. Maybe another suicide attempt. This guy's wife said she thought the opposite. She thought he was looking out at the terminal with some like melancholy wisdom, and that sort of he had like, had like an enlightening experience. And I think it's meant to be open-ended. We've talked about this a few times with certain movies. Most specifically, this reminded me of how Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind ends, where they sort of meet again. They both realize that they have once dated and tried to like erase each other from each other's memory, but they're kind of left with like, well, should we give it another shot? Like, and us as the audience, we're supposed to, the question remaining for us is like, will they try again and fail again? Are they destined to just fail again? Or will they try and succeed this time? And I think it's just a matter of your own sort of perspective. Are you a cup half full, half empty guy? So now we know where Marvin comes from. He's a half empty guy. But
wait, what do you mean?
I think it's just I'm joking, but I think it just depends on your personal perspective. Like,
I can't remember what I said about.
I don't remember what you said about Eternal
Sunshine.
Sunshine either, but
I feel like I said that they got back together or something. but
probably, yeah.
I can't remember.
I think that's. I don't know. I like to look at that movie like this, and I like to look at this that he kind of like took something from that trip and obviously like finds whatever he might be looking for, but yeah, I don't think we're meant to have an answer. I'm sure somewhere out there there's like an interview with one of them where they like talk about it or give their own sort of opinions on it, but yeah, that's mine. What else with this movie? Yeah, so
yeah, they do some talks. Like I said, there's some behind the scenes footage where they talk a little bit about the characters and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know how much Rich or Eisenberg goes into on the Actors Roundtable. I didn't read the whole interview, but I'll sit down and listen to it once it comes out. But
cool. Some of the other stuff in the movie too, like obviously deals a lot with, like we said, like Jewish history and the Holocaust and stuff like that, specifically in Poland, and yeah, those. I mean, like, so you mentioned earlier, Marvin, like you had trouble identifying with some of the movie stuff. Like that for me was like the biggest part of it. Like obviously it's world history, and obviously I can't directly relate to having family members who survived the Holocaust or whatever, but it was pretty heavy stuff, and I could imagine what it would be like to go to like visit places like that, especially as having Jewish ancestry and stuff like that, like how that would be like a pretty moving experience. But when they get to their grandmother's house, it's kind of like what you said. It's just like, oh, okay, I don't know what I was picturing, but here we are. And it's like still a little cathartic. And that's, I think, kind of what, I don't know, it's kind of just how I felt like the overall movie was. It was nothing like sort of explosive or anything happening, really. It was just like, oh, okay, well, we've reached the end now.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was a little perturbed by the rock scene. Like,
why?
Dummies, let's just put them in front of the door. Like, I would have immediately thought, yeah, let's stack these up somewhere where they won't get kicked around or knocked over or something. But like, yeah, let's just put a rock right in front of somebody's fucking door. And,
Dusty was the old Polish man that comes out and yells at them.
Exactly. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Man?
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys think the movie was funny? I thought there were some pretty good funny moments in the movie.
I was actually hoping it would be funnier.
Like more straight comedy?
Yeah, because I saw that it was drama / comedy. So I was like, okay, maybe.
99.
And it had Jesse in it, obviously. So I was like, okay, this is going to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
I would say like...
I think it might have got a couple chuckles out of me, but no like real laughs of like, oh, that's good comedy.
Yeah, same. A couple chuckles. Mainly between that, I thought Kieran Culkin was like really funny in it, and just both of their like their interactions with each other was funny a lot of the time. But yeah, like I would say like 85% of the time something is a comedy drama. It like almost always leans on the drama side of things. So
yeah,
you got to remember that for the future.
The whole marijuana thing got me. And like when he got it at the hotel, he's like, oh yeah, I had it on me at the airport the whole time.
Yeah. There was one scene that I can't remember. It did get a pretty good chuckle out of me. I don't remember exactly what happened, but yeah, those moments were kind of few and far between. It was definitely more on the drama side of things, but yeah, I don't know. If nothing else, I think it was at least a thought-provoking movie. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And it was like pretty down to earth and like realistic, I would say. So would I watch it again?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I mean, this is based on a short story and it could have been shorter. I mean, I think you need 40 minutes to get an Oscar nomination. So,
okay.
Hour and a half, you could have cut 20 minutes off of it and it still would have been a great story.
Damn, that's fucking basically not even watching a movie. We're watching a YouTube video.
That's hilarious. Hey, Dusty, did you recognize the African guy from another show that we have watched and are currently watching?
I didn't recognize anybody in this.
So, yeah, this guy, he is also in House of the Dragon.
Oh,
okay.
He's the what do they call like the medical guys? I forgot. He's one of pull it up, Dan. There it is right there.
I don't know.
Grandmeister Orwell.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Grandmeister.
the Grandmeister. Yeah.
He's the one that's with the king or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That's
No, I
him.
didn't.
yeah. I know he looked familiar, and I had to look it up when I saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought the last thing I wanted to touch on too is like obviously part of this, the whole premise is like, you know, reflecting on, you know, yourself via past generations and like your family history and like how that shapes like present day and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he says that line at the dinner table when he was crying, Jesse Eisenberg, where he says, forget how he worded it. I should have wrote it down, but he like describes his grandmother and like how amazing it was. I think he calls her like a miracle that she like survived these people coming after her to kill her. And he says something like, how does the offspring of a miracle like fucking end up trying to kill himself on a fucking dingy couch or something like that is how he put it. And I thought that was a really good line there. And like,
Yeah.
I thought that was a dumb line, actually.
Really?
It's just because, well, I mean, just because you're the survivor of something doesn't mean you have to be. You're not going to be a perfect.
No, absolutely.
Fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. I think.
Well, I mean, no, I kind of got like I actually liked that monologue from Jesse. I thought it like he's this guy that's supposedly supposed to have it all together, and he's fucking losing it because. He's trying to keep it together, and his fucking cousin keeps fucking shit up, and he's supposed to be his hero. He's just, I don't know.
Well, I think that's like I think what Marvin said is like the point of that line of like, of course,
yeah,
your grandmother's experience does not mean that you need to be as strong as her or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, if you look at it from his perspective, it's like he's not like legitimately asking like, wow, he's not saying you should be as strong as her. He's simply saying like, I think it's just to showcase like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's basically what you said. Doesn't matter like where your grandparent, like, yeah, maybe your grandmother was stronger. Your dad was strong. It doesn't, you don't have to like, you're your own person.
Well,
I
think what the statement to me was imagine enduring that much struggle and that much hardship. And the fruit of that being this dysfunction that we're witnessing right now. Yeah. That's a shame.
Right.
And to an extent, he's not wrong. But at the same time, he is wrong because, like you guys say, it's not an extension of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get, like I said, I got that. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because the dysfunction or the trauma is like the root of the dysfunction. Like without the trauma and all the background and all that, like he could have been a totally different person. So it's silly to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I liked it. To answer your earlier question, is it award worthy? I think Kieran Culkin's performance probably is. Anything beyond that, probably, I don't know. My opinion, not so much.
Is this technically a 2024 movie, or is this?
Yeah, it came out in 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, the 2025 Oscars is going to be all 2024 films.
Yeah.
Not if you're Doctor Strange.
December.
That's fair. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to touch on, or?
No, after we discussed it, I have more appreciation for it, like I always do, which is why I'm glad we do this. So
okay. Hey, listen, I'm not telling you have to like it. You know what I mean?
No, of course not.
I understand all the feelings that you have for it too.
Yeah, just talking about it, you just think about it more, and
yeah, sometimes things need a little bit more of a deeper thought than like surface level stuff, you know?
Yep.
Which sucks because like we talked about with, you know, The Holdovers and just other movies like this, like there wasn't like, I don't know, movies are just increasingly less like this. So
yeah,
they're very surface level and like ugly looking and just bullshit. And so it's tough because it's jarring when you actually like come out, you watch like a real movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, but that's like, you're not going to like everything, or you're not going to like, not everything is going to resonate with you on a super deep level. But also it's like Dusty described it. It's like, you're just kind of like watching these two characters, maybe not grow, but just experience things and like question things about themselves and each other, and that's okay sometimes, you know?
Yep.
So
you're watching turmoil is what you're watching.
yeah, you're just watching the human experience really play out.
Yeah.
And a different version of that experience than what you might be experiencing. So, because it's different for everybody. But it is getting pretty good praise. It's got a 7.3 on IMDb, the most important praise of all. I'm right there with it. I would give it a 7. How about you, Marvin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 7.5.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely
7.
there.
Not worth the bump. It's a 7.
7. Okay.
Oh, we don't do halves, right? So it's a 7.
We don't do halves.
No, we do halves.
Oh yeah, you can do
we
7.5. We just don't do like 7.3s.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's
We
why.
don't do other fractions. Half is the only fraction.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
7.5, Marvin? Okay.
It's right about there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm glad we watched it. I enjoyed it. But yeah, let us know in the comments, folks. What did you think? You have something to say?
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Well, what he's got coming up, he's got another movie he's directing, acting, writing. Like, I forget. But so I'll have to keep an eye on it and see if he does any better. But yeah, I'm curious to see. He's got a couple, a musical. Yeah, that is going to be weird.
Untitled
Okay.
musical comedy.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
Good luck, Jesse.
Leave a comment, folks. Let us know what you thought of A Real Pain. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? Let us know. Keep in mind, our Discord is where we share our monthly schedule. We have all the movies listed currently. Little rundown. Next week, we're going to be talking about Heretic.
Ooh, yes. Can't wait.
I was excited to watch that. On the 21st, we do have The Substance. I was wrong. Okay, so we do have The Substance coming up. And then we have the Make Marvin Watch movie of the month that is Dusty's pick. So that will be announced soon. If you want to watch along with us, consider joining our Discord. The link will be down below. But leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. And all of those things that people demand of you. But we appreciate you guys hanging out. And we will catch you next week.
See ya.
Asta.